very welcome to the podcast. I'm going to say this as best I can. We spoke about this before we started recording. I'm going to call it Mr. Gerald Jones. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Let's get this started. So, where are you right now on planet Earth?
I'm in Los Angeles, California.
And for anybody that's never been to Los Angeles, California, give them a quick if they were going there on vacation, what would you say about the place? Temperature, things to do,
Oh,
fun? What would you
you
say?
know, most of the country right now is in an ice storm, and we are in like 75-degree weather. Beautiful outside, no star, I mean no clouds in the sky. We got the beach and we got the mountain, so definitely come visit California. And if you love amusement parks, we have Disneyland.
Okay, cool. So in terms, right, we'll get this started so generally. So let's start from the beginning. Let's go all the way back. Um, with your passions, school, college, this is a well-being career as well. And then we'll talk about the app later on, the Blessn app. So where did it all begin?
Oh, okay. Well, the Blessn app actually started with me and my business partner, Kevin Clark. And we've known each other for over 20 years. We met backstage at the Academy Awards. Both of us have a background in film and television. So we were both working, not receiving an award, but working at the Academy Awards on the production. And we ended up meeting, hitting it off. We had a lot of the same vision, and we were both young at that time. We're a little older now because that was over 20 years ago. But we both were very ambitious and had like a clear vision of where we wanted to be. So we kind of connected there. And then, I mean, we still work at the Academy Awards every year. We're going back this next month in March. Well, yeah, in March we'll be there again. So we met there. We have a big family of people who work on the production. And after that, 20 years of working together, we produced films, television, a PSA that was fortunate enough to win an Emmy Award. So that was a highlight for us. And then we also started some businesses for the developmentally disabled. So we house individuals with developmental disabilities out here, and the business is actually in Orange County.
Right. Okay, cool. So for anybody that's kind of like in a bit of amazement of, you work as part of the production team in relation to the Academy Awards, what is that like for anybody that wants to get involved? Because this part of the world in Europe specifically, it's probably quite alien-like. They're kind of like, wow, how does this happen? So how does that actually happen and what does it involve? For anybody that maybe wanting to get to do something like that down the road.
Oh yeah, that is actually for me. It was pure luck. I was young then, and I was interning for a woman named Debbie Allen. She's a very famous choreographer. She's a director. You may remember a series called Fame back in the 80s. If
Oh,
you
I
have some,
do. Yep. Yep.
yeah.
I
So
want
she
to
was in
live
Fame.
forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you right. Yeah. So I was interning for her as a young man, and she came up to me and said, "Do you want to work on the Academy Awards production?"
Wow.
And I was like, "Yeah." And so it's hard to get in. You kind of have to know somebody. So if you wanted to get into one of these production types things, you'd have to it'd be a good idea to intern, let people know you're interested in it. And just like networking, the more people you know, the more people you talk to, you're going to end up getting a lot of opportunities. That's something I tell my kids, like, it's networking so important. Just talking to people and being open with people that know that you're like if you can hold a good conversation, they're going to want to work with you.
Right. And is it quite cutthroat, is it? I can be honest, and I don't mean this as a negativity, but I mean, is it quite competitive, the industry specifically, that you need to stand out to get these opportunities?
I don't think so. I think maybe in front of the camera. I think there's a lot of that in front of the camera.
Right.
Behind the camera, it's really hard work. I mean, the production, especially a show like the Academy Awards, which is like the biggest night in Hollywood. That's a very high stress situation. Everybody's stressed out. So you see everybody backstage. You see everybody age groups, people who are probably in their 80s or above, and people who are interning and just getting their start. I got my son and my daughter working there now. So my daughter's 19, and I hope to get my youngest daughter when she turns 18 to get her on. So you'll see a vast amount of people from different age groups, different backgrounds, but they all have the same love for film. and most of the people are trying to, network and make their way into working on a movie production or working on another television production like the Emmy Awards or award shows or even this a lot of live television now that they have like the singing shows. This is where you're going to meet all those people and network and hopefully get a job. So I think it's the key is just networking and being around
Right.
the environment.
And in terms of the internship, I mean, for anybody who doesn't know what an internship is it like is it you don't get paid? Am I assuming this that you don't get paid? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
work
I
experience.
know exactly. Now I know there is some paid interns, but when I started working for Debbie Allen, it was not paid. It was just to get experience. She offered free dance lessons, but that didn't help me because I got two left feet.
Are
So
you going to do a dance now on this camera? Are you going
no,
to do
no,
some
no,
dancing?
no. That'd be embarrassing. I really wish I would have learned to dance, but no, I didn't. So um, I think
It's
it's just
amazing it is because probably the amount of people that would love the opportunity to dance or be offered dance lessons, and you've
I
turned
know,
that
right?
down.
From somebody like Debbie Allen, who's
No,
like this
yes.
famous choreographer, and I'm like, I'll pass.
Yeah. That's no, we need to talk after recording stops. We need to have a conversation. So what is
Yeah.
it like then? I mean, do you get kind of with the pressure behind it, the production team, do you find you have to kind of ignore like kind of the starstruck element of the actual event and the night and you focus on the job?
Oh yeah, and that's a very hard balance because especially if you're new, the first year you're going to be a little starstruck and you're going to be intimidated because these
Right.
people are millionaires and they're very famous and depending on what your job is. My job is like to pull the talent and bring them to where they need to be because this is a television show after
Yeah.
all. So everything is planned out. Like if the camera's going to shoot in on a somebody in the audience, that person better be in their seat.
Right.
So we have a whole book of the rundown of the show and where the camera's going to be. There's a lot of rehearsals beforehand. So it is intimidating when you're trying to pull somebody from the red carpet who wants to do more press, and you're
Right.
like, you got to be in your seat at the top of the show,
Yeah.
and they don't want to go. A lot of
Yeah.
times they want to do a little bit more press, and then you get this, you're hitting in your ear. You have a little a little radio in your ear, and they're telling you, you got 5 minutes to get them to their seat. And if they're wearing heels or something, it's practically impossible.
Right.
So
Okay.
so it is stress, but it's fun, and the longer you do it, the more attuned you get at working with these type of people. You don't feel starstruck anymore. You just realize that, hey, look, this is a production, so
Right.
let's all work together.
So would you be quite tough underneath your skin? Because I'm sure it can be quite challenging sometimes, especially with certain A-list celebrities. I don't know any, but I'm only kind of surmising here that you'd have to have a certain amount of kind of thick skin about yourself to kind of do this type of job.
Yeah, well, personally, I've never had a bad experience.
Yeah.
Every talent that I've worked with has been really kind and really understanding, especially if you explain to them what's going on. And
Right.
they're happy to be there. They're not in a bad mood. They're at the Academy Awards, so they are happy to be there. And then they're used to working in production. They're used to being on movie sets and having to be in their spot at a certain time. So as long as you show that you're confident, you go in there and say, whatever, Brad Pitt or whoever you are seeing that night and saying, hey, you're at the top of the show. The camera's going to be on you. The host is going to do a bit, and they need to, the camera's going to pan to you. So we kind of need you in your seat.
Right.
They understand because they work in television, they work in movies. So most of them are pretty chill about it. Their agents usually, or the publicists usually want them to do a little more press, but the talent has always been really kind. So I think I'm lucky. I haven't had a bad experience yet.
So by you calling it talent, are you being very kind of diplomatic and politically correct? Are we talking about the A-list superstars that we see on the TV? Is this what we're
Oh
talking about?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
I mean,
And
these people are yeah, A-list, the top notch, the most famous of the famous. And
right.
then of course you have a really talented directors and writers and producers, Steven Spielberg, all these really famous people.
You were reading my
Um,
mind there. That was the first name to come out of my head.
yeah.
Steven Spielberg. I know he has a new movie coming out. I think it's next, is it this year? Disclosure Day, I think it's called.
Oh, is it? Oh, he's really nice.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
somebody who's a billionaire
right.
and has been creating all of these productions for so many years. He's just really kind and really sweet guy. So I haven't had any problems, luckily.
Who's your favorite? Who would your favorite be that you kind of are starstruck, even if you see them every year?
Oh, you know,
You don't have to
who
tell
would
me
it be?
anything about them, but it's kind of that feeling that you have. You know, we sometimes when, like for me, there's people like Morgan Freeman that kind of when I look at them, I kind of
Yeah.
they own the camera. Like your George
Oh,
Clooney's, your Brad
yeah,
Pitts, as you mentioned, all these wonderful Sandra Bullocks, just
yeah,
so many
yeah.
like and they. But who's yours?
I think Idris Elba, who
Oh
was taller
wow,
than I thought. This guy,
right.
when you see him on TV, you think you're probably about the same height. Saw him in person. We talked. Very cool guy. Just chill. And his presence. As soon as he walks into the room, everybody is looking at this man because he's very tall and just smooth. The guy is smooth. Like I wish
Charismatic,
I had his skills.
right? And what about Tom Cruise? You don't have to say anything about,
I
but
haven't met Tom Cruise. No.
he's one of my yeah, he's one of my faves in terms of Hollywood actors. Absolutely
Oh
amazing
yeah,
at what
yeah.
he does.
I haven't had the. He hasn't been nominated for a while. I mean, he
No,
does great movies every single year. I don't know why he's
I know,
not,
but
but
he's just fascinating. Just he owns it, just excitement all the time. So what about then? Before we move on to all the other stuff, just if anybody's kind of they're probably listening to this, kind of going, this is fascinating stuff, especially if they want to get into it. What about seat fillers? What's going on with that?
yeah, when I started, that was actually a paid job. They would pay
Right.
people to be seat fillers, and I don't know where they got them from,
Right.
but it was a paid job. Because I remember I was kind of close to the guy who was in charge of all the seat fillers. We would talk every year. And then they changed it maybe 10 years ago where it's usually family of a celebrity or a producer or somebody who's pretty famous.
Right.
But it used to be people would get paid to do it like an extra.
Right.
So
And would they have to be
yeah,
like
now it's
they have to be
practically
dressed up
impossible
like
unless you're. Oh, go ahead. Sorry about that.
no, no, would they have to be dressed up like an actor that was actually sitting there? Would they have to be like in
Yes.
similar clothes?
Oh yeah, they look beautiful. Everybody's wearing, and they have like a badge on, so they
Right.
know they're a seat filler. And then when we pull a celebrity from the audience, the seat filler jumps in that spot, takes the badge off, and kind of hides it.
Wow.
So
It's pretty
yeah,
cool. Okay, free stuff. Last question on this before we move on. Free stuff. Is
sure.
there free stuff? There's all these hamper bags we see. You get all these you hear these things, stories that they're getting free samples of this or free, they have to wear certain clothes or jewelry. Does that actually go on as well?
Well, when I first started years back, they used to have swag bags,
Swag
and
bags.
then yeah, not for us, but for the celebrities.
Okay.
But they stopped doing that because I guess they passed a law where if you took the swag bag, whatever value that swag bag was supposed to be, they would tax you on it.
Okay.
And so yeah, so celebrities were like, I don't want to be taxed on this free stuff, so they stopped doing the swag bags altogether. But the other items are free there. They have snacks there for for anybody in the audience, the producers or anybody there. So, but not the cool stuff like it used to be back in the day.
Right. I'll tell you, it's fascinating talking to you. It's. I'm sure when anybody's listening to this, they have an interest in what goes on behind the scenes. It's amazing. Well done to you. So let's talk
Yeah.
about more about yourself and Kevin in terms of so you won this Emmy award with the PSA. So what is a PSA in case anybody has no clue? Because I'll be honest with you, in Ireland, we don't really have these public service kind of announcements. And I know you did it in terms of for gun violence in schools,
Yeah.
but what what is a PSA? Kind of as simple as you can explain, and then what was the idea behind it and why did you decide to do this?
Yeah, so a PSA is a public service announcement. So it's kind of like a commercial that runs on the air, and it's just like awareness. So I'm not sure how they do it there, but when I was a kid, there used to be like a say no to drugs PSA that would come on, and it would like this is your brain on drugs, and it'd have like an egg, or this is your brain on drugs, and they crack it in the frying pan, and that
Okay.
one was like super famous for a while. Um, so it's just basically it's a commercial that's for the public to raise awareness for whatever cause you're doing. So there's a lot of gun violence in America, I'm sure you probably heard.
Yep.
And so it's every year you hear about these gun violence at the schools.
Right.
And we were tired of it. I have kids who are in high school. One of them still in high school. And we were just tired of it. And so we created a PSA. We financed it ourselves. We did everything ourselves, shot it in 1 day. So it was a real quick production. We just cast some friends of ours, and my nephew was in it as one of the actors. So we practically cost nothing to produce. We shot it. It was broadcast on network TV, and then we were super surprised that we got nominated. I think that was like we didn't expect that, and so much so that Kevin didn't even want to go to the award show because he was like, "We're not going to win."
Right.
So I'm not going. We're not going to win.
Right.
Uh, but I convinced him. We ended up going down there, and even then, I was like, "This may be our only chance to be on the other side of the red carpet." Usually, we're working at these award shows. This is our first chance to actually be somebody who's being celebrated. So we ended up going and winning. So that was like shocking to us because
Well done.
we had some tough competition, like from Yamaha of America. There was like some really big brands going up against these two little guys who shot this thing on a shoestring budget. So that was wild.
Well done. I mean, so to get it onto network television, how does that work then? I mean, did you have to do a lot of kind of pushing and kind of knock on doors, or is it kind of is it based on a different format?
Yeah, so we've had some friends in the industry. We had a TV show a while back. So we the good thing about public service announcements is the network TVs have to set aside a certain amount of space for these public service announcements.
Right.
And they don't charge like if you were promoting M&Ms or your product, you'd have to pay for that time slot. But with the public service announcement, it's for the public. You submit it. If they decide they want to air it, they will air it. Doesn't cost you anything, and that's all we did. But it took research. Thank goodness for the internet. We just did the research, looked for some slots that were open and submitted it, and they broadcast it.
Brilliant. And did Kevin, after his hesitation of actually going because he didn't think that you were going to win or kind of be part of the celebration, how did he feel afterwards when you got the award?
Oh, I still tease him about that. I still tease him about that. I mean, I didn't think we were going to win either.
Right.
My thing was we may never ever get on the other side of the red carpet. Let's actually go and just have fun and see what it feels like to be somebody who's being celebrated. And the funny thing is, we get there and we're mingling in the crowd before the show starts. And I was talking to this young man, and he's probably about my age, maybe a little bit older. And I was like, "So what are you nominated for?" And he was like, "Oh, public service announcement." And I'm like, "Ooh,
Okay.
this is
Competition.
my competition."
And how did he get
So
on?
yeah, well, he was, it's a funny thing. He was like, "Oh, I've been nominated like 5 times." So then I really lost faith that I was gonna win. This other gentleman had just been nominated 5 times. I'm like, this is his year.
Right.
But hey, nice to meet you. I'm up for a PSA too. And then when they called my name, or we called our production, we were both like, "What the heck?"
Wow. And was your family in attendance? I mean, were they shocked as well?
Oh no, they were watching it at home. So yeah,
Okay.
they text me like as soon as they called our name, and it was live, so it was really cool. I was just glad my kids were able to
Right.
watch it live and see that what we did because they were part of the production. They were there when we were filming. We shot it at my house. We shot it at my kid's school, and a cemetery that's like right in the neighborhood was a scene where the young man had lost his life. But yeah, it was just like a homegrown production, and to see that win, it felt really good.
And did you have a speech prepared, the two of you? Yourself and Kevin?
No, we were
No?
so sure we weren't going to win.
Right.
We had no preparation. We just went up there, said thank you. I didn't even mention my family by name. I was so nervous. I was like, "Thanks, family. Thanks, my wife." And I didn't say, my wife Gail and my kids, and then name them. I just said my wife and kids, and I just got off the stage because I was like, maybe they made a mistake. Let me get off the stage.
And
Win
who
this
presented the
before.
award?
What's that?
Who presented the award to you? Who presented it?
Oh, I don't know. It wasn't anybody famous. It was just she probably was on TV news or something like that. I don't
Right.
remember who it was.
Who cares? But I mean, the thing
Yeah,
about it
yeah.
is, it's
I
it's the kind.
seriously, I was telling Kevin, let's leave the show because our award was like one of the top 5 awards in the show. So there was like over an hour of show left.
Right.
I was so convinced that they made a mistake. I was like, let's leave.
Okay.
Let's leave
And did the
before they
camera
take it back from us.
did the camera pan in, did it? Were the two of you like shocked?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Everybody at our table was shocked. They
Right. Okay.
jumped up and they were like hugging us and they were strangers. We've never met them before.
Right.
And luckily they also won some Emmys that night. So
So
they had
what about the after party? What happened? What went on there? Can you say anything about
oh,
was there an after party?
oh, me and Kevin went back to the hotel, had a couple of drinks and knocked out. That was it.
Wow.
Nothing fun or cool. So we felt like outsiders, even because this is our first time we being nominated. We didn't think we were going to win.
Right.
Uh, so they call that imposter syndrome. You're
Yeah.
like, I shouldn't be here. I'm not that good. These guys have been doing it way longer than me, and we didn't spend a lot of money on this production. So I think we both had some type of imposter syndrome.
Right.
So me personally, I was ready to go home. I wanted to take the award and hide, but we ended up staying to the end of the show, hung out a little bit at the hotel, and then after that, we just the next morning had breakfast and went home.
Well done to you. And Kevin, if you're out there,
Yeah, thank you,
Kevin,
thank you.
like well done to you as well. You shouldn't be so negative because what's happened is you've actually created an app called Blessn, which is about fate and so on. So
Yes,
have a bit of faith next time, Kevin, eh? Huh?
right.
He's not here to defend himself. So why then the I know we spoke about briefly in terms of like, the issues of gun violence in the States at the moment. Um,
Yeah.
but what was the motivational factor behind that? Was there something else behind that not many people know about why you decided to do this other than there was a problem?
Oh, with the PSA or with Blessing?
Just with the PSA.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, we're just tired of it. We've grown up hearing about it on the news. It was felt like it was like every other month you're hearing about it. And we were like, we need to educate people.
right.
I had kids in high school at the time. And I was scared. Like I'm always scared I'm going to get that call. Even to this day, I have one child who's still in high school. You're always scared to get that call, like something happened. Something's going on at the school and you're helpless. You would have to go down there. I don't even like to think about it. But I was like, there's something that we can do that can, talk about the mental health aspect of it, talk about if you see something, say something, if you report it, if you see somebody going through some trouble. So we were like, let's produce something just because we love being, in arts and entertainment. Let's just produce something and hopefully it helps. And maybe it did. Maybe a couple people have saw it. We never know if it helped anybody, but we felt a calling to do it. So that was why it was so important for us.
And was there any negative like backlash in terms of why or when you produced this? Was there anybody from certain
No,
actors kind of saying why are they doing this or what's their problem? Because I know there's different states that there's different kind of gun control laws and some are probably more kind of strict than other states and so on. So was there any feeling with that?
no, it's we're in California and I know that this is even though it's a nationwide issue and there is people who are against gun laws and there's always going to be that tug of war between people who want to put more restrictions on guns and people who think that it's taking away their freedoms. So I didn't want to get into that at all. I didn't want to like focus on that aspect of it. I want to focus more on the mental health aspect of it.
Right.
If you see somebody struggling with mental health, you see somebody getting bullied, this is when you speak up. If you can see these warning signs beforehand, don't just ignore it. Like talk to somebody, talk to a counselor, talk to a principal, talk to your parents. So I didn't want to get into is it right or wrong to own guns? Of course, if you're a child, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But at this point, we were more interested in tackling the mental health aspect of it.
Right.
If you see somebody struggling, there's a possibility they could do something dangerous, and it may not be gun violence. It could be some other type of violence, or it could be violence on themselves. So it was more of a mental health PSA.
Right. So can we go back kind of on the early days of your journey? So like say you're in high school and then into college and so on. What was your initial kind of light bulb moment when you said, I have a passion to get into this industry? I know you've turned down like dancing lessons from probably the most famous person on the planet in terms of, especially with fame. I mean, how could you do that? I mean,
Yeah. I
honestly,
knew my limitations. I knew that.
turn your head around. Come on, face the Blessn app
Yeah.
poster. I mean, so when did all this kind of love and passion start? And was there other people within the family, like say your parents or maybe a family member that was kind of involved in it beforehand that kind of got you into this?
No, we grew up pretty poor. We didn't have a lot of money. But me and my dad would watch movies on TV, or we'd go to the movies. And to me, it was like amazing to see these television productions or movies. And I remember him telling me, I still remember it because it was such an impact on me. There was a movie called Hollywood Shuffle.
Okay,
And the director of it, Robert Townsend, my dad was telling me this man created this movie by himself by putting it all on credit cards. He financed it himself. He didn't get any studio money. He financed it completely on credit cards. And the movie was funny. I was a kid, but it was a low budget film. So that was my inspiration, thinking, wow, somebody who's not even in this industry, doesn't have any connections, could have a passion and believe in himself so much that he self-financed a movie. That's when I started believing, oh, I can do this. I can be on, in this industry. I never want to be in front of the camera. I always wanted to be the one who's the creative person and telling the story.
right.
So that was my first like light bulb. Was I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, maybe even younger.
And did you have to then, did you have any guidance or mentors that maybe in high school or in if you went on to college that kind of said, this is the path you need to follow, or these are the school grades you need to have to kind of
Yeah,
follow this
unfortunately,
goal.
this was pre-internet.
Okay.
So yeah, so there was nobody in my neighborhood. Because like I said, we didn't have a lot in the neighborhood I grew up in, and
Yeah.
nobody was in the industry. So there was no way to look it up online. I talked to some teachers about it. I talked to a teacher in high school about it, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you look up Backstage West?" Or I think it was called Backstage West, which is a newspaper that was for Hollywood. But of course, they didn't sell Backstage West in my neighborhood. That was a Hollywood newspaper. So I went to a junior college and I took some film classes, and I had a really good teacher there who was producing commercials for
Right.
like just the local businesses. He'd just do commercials. So I asked him, I had a script that I wrote. I asked him, can I borrow the camera? It was a um, 8 millimeter, like old camera. It looked like it was from World War II. It was an old camera, but he let me borrow it to shoot my first movie. And we edited it at school. We did everything right there in the class. And I had friends and cousins and people in the neighborhood help shoot it with me. And that was my first little film. Wasn't very good. It'd be embarrassing to show, but unless you want to show like this is where I started, this is the film
Yes.
I started. But that was the experience that let me know. Just keep going. Just keep trying. So I mean, if you're passionate about it, you're going to follow through.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, and in terms of Kevin, can you give, because obviously he's not here, Kevin. I mean, Kevin,
Yeah.
it's like Home Alone. So, what was his background? And then for the two years then kind of to meet,
Yeah.
how did all this kind of happen? The
Oh, well, he was
universe.
even further from Hollywood. I was probably 100 miles from Hollywood. When you don't have a car, that's a lot. But he was
Yeah.
from Oklahoma.
Oh
So he
wow.
was,
Okay.
yeah,
There's no place like
couple
home. Yeah.
states over,
Okay.
nowhere near Hollywood.
Right.
Uh, he wanted to be a filmmaker. He applied to USC Film School, and he graduated from USC Film School and did the same thing. He interned a lot for different producers, and eventually, like me, found his way to the Academy Awards. He had been there a couple years before me, and but we were both exactly the same age. We are like months apart, so we kind of connected because we were both on the same age and both very driven. But yeah, he grew up way out in Oklahoma, but had a passion for filmmaking and brought him all the way to Hollywood. And
Amazing.
it's
And look,
funny, we went into film and now we're doing apps. So it's like,
it's fascinating, but I mean, what is it that has the two is kind of connected together? What is it that obviously he's probably going to blush now in a second because you can't see him, but what is it that kind of draws you to him and and him to you. To kind of to
Well,
have
I've
this kind of
I've had um, business partners in the past or people who said they wanted to do a film or do music or do something. But I never felt I had somebody who was like as passionate and pulling their weight as much as Kevin was.
right,
So when you see somebody who's putting in that much effort, you don't want to slack off yourself because you're like, oh, I don't want to be the one who's the guy slacking. So I think we met each other in the middle. Like
right.
we know what to expect of each other. We rely on each other. We're back practically brothers now because we've known each other for so long. I call his mom mom. He calls my mom mom. It's like we're all family now. Like she says, I'm her adopted son. So I think I've had a lot of people who started off with me and kind of got tired of not being successful. They want it to happen overnight.
Right. No work
Everybody
ethic.
wants
Yeah.
instant gratification, and filmmaking and even this app is not instant gratification. It takes years
Right.
before from idea to production, post production. By the time you actually release a product, a year and a half, 2 years has passed. So there's no instant gratification. And then it may not hit. Nobody may watch it. But it's if you believe in it because of the art or your passion, then you get that satisfaction out of it.
So it's like what you're saying there. It's kind of like it's the two of you have this kind of bond or relationship, like probably like any other relationship, where you both keep each other kind of grounded, and
Yeah.
you both kind of lift each other up and the other one's down, and vice versa. And because
It's
of this, you've now created this wonderful app.
yeah, and that's the really crazy thing about our friendship is whenever I'm feeling like, oh man, I'm feeling down, we're not gonna make it. We put all this effort into this. He's feeling optimistic. And whenever he's feeling down, I'm always feeling optimistic. Thank goodness we've never been both feeling in the in the dumps at the same time. One of us is always on the upswing while the other one's on the downswing. So we kind of pull each other out and just seeing the other person say, no, man, we got this. We're gonna do this. That has helped so much as
Yeah.
opposed to if we were both, down in the dumps, we'd probably give up.
No, it's
So
brilliant. I mean, I think it's
we have
it's
this good balance, this yin and yang.
It's good. Anybody out there having a relationship, either a personal one or a career relationship, listen to this man's advice. It's as simple as that. You got to pull each other up and drag each other along, especially during the good and the bad, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask. This is probably going to embarrass Kevin a little bit. So he's not here to kind of defend himself. So I kind of had created like a quick fire question round just to
All right.
find out how much you actually know about each other. And then we'll move on then to the business side of the Blessn app and then kind of more information about that. And as you mentioned, how long it takes to kind of build an app and then kind of get it out released. So if between yourself and Kevin, okay, who
Okay.
is always late?
Oh, Kevin, for
Oh, Kevin.
sure. For Kevin, for sure. I'm early, if anything, like hours early, if anything.
Right. And does he ever apologize? Does he ever say like I'm sorry, or is it just you just kind of let you just go over your head now? Oh, look, whatever.
Oh, he would say, "I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, man. I'm running a little bit late." It doesn't even bother me because I already know his personality.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not every single time, but I'm more of a morning person. So I'm
Right.
like up at 5 in the morning all the time. So I'm always up really, really early. And he's more of a I can't sleep in. He can, which drives me crazy. I'm like, how can you sleep in? It's
Yeah.
impossible. I wish I could. I really do wish I could sleep in.
So there you go, Kevin. So get out of bed. Okay, that's why you're not here
Yeah,
this
right.
morning. I know why you're not here, Kevin. You're in bed. Okay.
Yeah.
So favorite snack. So what's your favorite snack and what's Kevin's favorite snack? Because obviously you know each other like your best mates.
Yeah. Now I always get heat for this. Everybody thinks it's gross. I
Okay.
mean, obviously it's not gross because they're selling it at every supermarket. I love Twizzlers.
Twizzlers. Okay, I know what
Yeah.
Twizzlers are. Yeah.
I
Okay.
love Twizzlers. So Twizzlers and Boston baked beans, which is probably to a lot of people the worst candies in the world.
Okay.
So
Boston
I
was it
love
Boston
Twizzlers.
baked beans?
Yeah, yeah. Have you had those?
No.
They're just candy coated peanuts.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. So those are good. And actually, I have some in my car right now. I buy them whenever I see them. I just stash them in my car. So if I'm like on a long road trip, I can just grab them and eat them. And because they're candy coated peanuts, they don't melt or anything like that.
Oh, okay. That's very
Yeah,
intelligent way you're covering all bases there. And what
yeah.
about for Kevin? What's his?
Oh, Kevin's, I would say, what is he always eating? The gross thing is he's kind of a health nut. So he eats those, I think they're called Aussie bowls or Aki bowls. What do you call
Aki
them?
balls, Aki balls. I know the ones. Yep.
Aki
Aki
bowls,
balls. Yep.
yes. I've
Okay.
never even had one.
Right.
I
Okay.
never in my life, I've never in my life had one just because I'm like, oh, what's all that fruit and vegetable? Let's
Yeah.
go have a twist.
That's why he can't get out of bed, Kevin. You need to have sugar.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with you. So, okay, favorite movie. So, what's your favorite movie? And I know you mentioned one earlier on, but what's Kevin's favorite movie as well?
Oh, okay. Well, practically anything. Let me see. What's my favorite movie? Was probably Inception.
Oh, that's very
Christopher
good.
Nolan.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah,
The music as well, the
that,
soundtrack. Yeah, really good.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
very
I
good.
know Kevin's favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption, which is also probably my number two movie.
Yes, there's a lot of common going on here. I can kind of get a trend.
Yeah.
Um, so, okay, this is going to be sound a bit odd, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Bad habits.
Boy, his bad habit is sleeping in, but
Well, we know that. Yes. Okay.
somebody did heat that one. And I'm sure my bad habit is candy.
Candy.
I'm a
Okay.
candy-holic. I'm a candy-aholic. So
Get
I
your bloods
love
checked. Yeah, and your
candy.
cholesterol. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But
Um,
with that, but I did go to the gym today, so maybe I worked a little bit
you've
off it off.
you've burned some of it off. You have.
Yeah.
Have you ever ghosted each other?
No, no. I mean,
Never.
never. No.
Wow.
Like it's always been like an open communication. If I text, he's gonna respond. It may not be immediately because
Right.
he's sleeping, but at some point, yeah. At some point he's going to hit me back. So no, I think we respect each other too much to left somebody on red or to not check in like, hey bro, everything good? Or like he's the kind of guy if I was on the side of the road, I would call him and be like, dude, my tire's flat, I need help. And he would
Okay.
pick up. Like
Right.
I'm the same way. If he called and said, dude, I need help with something, I would be there. I would like make a way to get to him because we're practically brothers. I mean, I say that, I'm not kidding. We're like, I feel like he's my brother. We've spent over 20 some years as buddies, offer each other advice on worldly things. So,
And does he ever annoy you at all? Is there anything that annoys you about Kevin?
oh, that's a tough one.
Other than being late and
So,
his
I don't
Aki
think there
balls.
is. Yeah, I have a lot of pet peeves, but fortunately for him, none of his bother me.
Right.
There's like nothing that really bothers me about him. So I guess I'm lucky in that way.
You're very lucky. So, okay, the final
Yeah.
question, you might like this, and this is an Irish thing. We kind of ask this quite often. So, who wears the trousers in a relationship?
Oh man, I think it's
Is it
equal.
50-50?
I think it's equal. 50-50. We
50-50.
always joke that we have combined the two of us make one full functioning brain. Because
Okay.
like the part that I'm missing that I don't see, he sees, and the part that he doesn't see, I see. So it's always like our two heads together make one fully functioning brain.
Right.
So we're just, I mean, I think we're 50-50 partners. That's why we never have any issues or never feel threatened by each other or, oh, this guy's getting more credit than I am. Or this guy's getting to do a cool podcast and the other one's probably sleeping.
Yep,
So there's
we
that,
know.
right?
Yep. So he's a very secure. That's what we want we to say. You're happy in your own
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm a patient guy. I mean, I'm married. I have three kids, not four, three kids. So when you have three kids, you learn patience and it takes time and it takes understanding. And then, every single one of your kids has a different personality. So you get to kind of navigate different personalities and how to approach people. So I think if you bring those steps into any working relationship, you're going to be successul
So how does your wife cope with this bromance? I mean, between,
I
I mean, how
think,
does that figure?
the good thing is we're kind of boring. I mean,
Okay.
we don't go out drinking. We don't go out. It's always
You and
our,
Kevin, or you and your wife?
oh, me and Kevin.
You
Oh,
and
me and
Kevin.
my
Oh,
wife go out. We'll go to sporting events all the time. We go to movies, amusement parks. But me and Kevin, we don't go have fun. Our version of fun is business, is creating.
yeah.
So it's never feels like, oh, he's going out and having fun with Kevin. Actually, we're working on something, and that's our version of fun.
Right.
Like worked on the movies, we worked on the PSA. Now we're doing an app. So it's always, hey, I have an idea. Let's do this. It's never like, hey, dude, you want to go out and have a drink and act a fool?
Yeah, no,
So
that's brilliant. No, well done, the two of you. Okay, so
yeah.
let's move on then to the app. So I can see the wonderful banner behind you, the
All right.
Blessn app. So who
Yes.
came up with the name?
I did actually. I was scrolling on social media one night, and this was probably like 3 years ago, maybe a little bit over 3 years ago. And I was starting to feel anxiety because I was seeing all this bad news and just terrible stuff, people getting hurt. And I was like, I don't like this. And I'm about to go to bed. So I'm gonna be having like a nightmare or a dream, bad dreams, or it's just gonna be on my mind when I'm going to sleep. So the next morning I called Kevin and I'm like, hey, I have this idea. What do you think about it? Let's create a social media platform that's only positive and uplifting. And so that if you're scrolling, like we like to say, faith scrolling over doom scrolling,
Yeah,
because that's what it is. Doom scrolling is a lot of these other platforms. You're on there and it's doom and gloom. It's shock value. The shock value is the one that gets the highest rating, and it's right in your face all the time. So we want to replace doom scrolling with some positive, uplifting content. And so I originally was going to call it Blessing or
Blessing.
Blessed, but they
Okay,
were taken. Those
right.
names were taken. So we want to come up with something that was similar but kind of hip, and Blessing was available. So we're like, let's go with Blessing.
That's cool. And what about the little icon at the top?
That was actually designed by one of our friends who's helped develop the app, put it together. He actually came up with that design, showed it to us, and we were like, that's it. That's the one right there. Just like, don't even go back to the drawing board. That's the app. That is it.
It's very creative. Now you can it stands out. It really does stand out. It's very distinctive.
Yeah.
So you mentioned there doom scrolling. So what I mean, you spoke with mental health earlier on and the negativities of certain things in life. So
Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you
so
repeat that one?
you spoke about mental health earlier on and certain negativities of in life.
Yes.
So with the app and trying of having a more of a positive feel compared to doom scrolling, what is the kind of the negative offset of doom scrolling? So if somebody's kind of constantly, I'm not going to mention the apps because just in case they don't
Yeah, right.
get too happy, but they're constantly seeing, either beautiful people kind of having wonderful lives and are trying to compare themselves to this.
Yeah.
So what is the negative effect of that and the reason why kind of the positivity of what you're actually doing?
Yeah. Well, I think it affects the younger generation even more than adults, but it affects adults also. When you start seeing all this negativity, you seeing somebody getting uh, hurt very badly, shot or killed, or run over by a car, or a dog attacking somebody, or somebody with a body type that's unachievable to most people because they're using filters and all these other things. It could be very draining on somebody because people only post either shock value because they want to get a lot of clicks, or they'll post the best moments of their life. And I think it's draining. And we felt like there needs to be an alternative. And we're not saying you have to give up the other apps. A lot of people might get their news from there, or their friends are there, or that kind of thing. But on our app, if you need a break or you want to do it right before you go to bed, or you start your day with Blessing, you're going to see people talking about uplifting things. You're going to see somebody skateboarding and giving you tips on skateboarding. So we monitor the app to make sure nothing negative is on there. This is what it's built for. Everybody has to, post something that's positive and uplifting. And even now, I mean, we've only launched a month and a half ago, and already scrolling through the content, I'm amazed at how many people have already embraced it. And there's a young man, he's probably not older than 10 years old, just saying some positive messages that are like so well spoken. I'm like, this kid is like 10 years old and he's so well spoken. And like that's what we need. We
Yeah.
need to encourage people to open up and to spread kindness once in a while.
And is it faith based? So if there's an individual out there that's not kind of following a certain belief or religion, can they still use the app if they want
Oh
to?
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's going to be people on there who are going to want to promote Jesus and talk faith things, but there's also people just having fun. So you don't have to come on here, and if you don't feel comfortable, a lot of people don't feel knowledgeable. Um, to talk about the gospel and talk about, these type of things, they can still join the app and just say, what's going on in my life? Hey, I just got accepted into college. Just show us something positive and you're welcome on the app. So you don't
And
have to feel like um, I'm an outsider. You can be any religion, any dominate denomination. Just joy and peace and happiness is what we want in the app.
so how does it work then in terms of when you download it? So I can see it's on the App Store and Google Play. So
Yeah.
how does it work then when somebody downloads it onto their phone or device? What do they have to do after that?
So they can use it without doing anything after that. They can scroll, they just download it and they can scroll. You don't have to sign in, you don't have to do anything. You can just scroll and see content. But if you want to like the content or comment on the content, you would have to create an account. So that way we're making sure people are not going on this account and saying bad stuff,
Right. Yeah.
using anything bad. So, but it just works just like any other platform, any other social media platform. You download it, you can use it right off the bat just by scrolling and looking at pictures and looking at posts. But if you feel like you want to comment or if you want to start posting yourself, then you sign up and create an account to become we call them contributors instead of influencers because we're contributing to society. Everything you post is going to be a contribution to the world, not an influence. That's what everybody else calls them. We want to call them contributors.
That's great. And does it, I mean, how does it work in terms of cost? Is there a cost involved? Is it free initially or how does it work?
Oh, 100% free. You can use the app just like any other social media. Um you don't have to pay to download it. You don't have to pay when you're in there. But the good thing is if you are a contributor, what we call contributors, an influencer, there is an option where you can monetize your page. So you, as somebody who contributes content to the platform, can get paid. So you're not spending any money at all, but you can get paid because somebody may request a personalized message from you. So
Okay.
let's say if you're on the app and something you're saying really speaks to an individual, you can request them to say, hey, my son's about to take the SATs. Can you send him a positive, inspirational message? Because coming from you would mean a lot more than coming from me. We got basketball players on there, NBA champions on there. We got college athletes on there. So we have a lot of people on there that if you wanted to get a personal message, you can, give them a couple bucks and they'll directly send you that message from the Blessn app. But
That's
if you just want to use it as a regular social media, it costs nothing.
pretty cool. And you were mentioning like some of the say posts that have been kind of you mentioned 10-year-old there. What is anything there kind of stood out to you in terms of something positive that you've seen?
Oh, it's a wide range of things. I see a young woman, she's training for a marathon. And so she's like every day she's posting the steps she's taken to the marathon and like asking for recommendation on shoes she should wear. This is her first marathon. So we'll see fun stuff like that. And if anybody has any marathon experience, they can chime in and say, oh, you should try these shoes or you should make sure you do this. We have a skateboarder on there who's doing all these cool skateboard tricks. We got dancers, singers, country music stars. It's just amazing how many talented people have jumped on so early. I mean, we're just two guys who created an app, and people have been jumping on it right off the bat, which makes me feel like this was needed.
Yeah,
This is a platform that was needed, and it's not controlled. We don't control your algorithm where you're going to only see a certain thing. We don't do any of that stuff, which is a really hot button issue right now. With a lot of these algorithms are like, why am I seeing this content? This is not what I want to see. So
right.
we don't do any of that stuff.
And how do you feel and how does Kevin feel that you've actually created this now? Um, I mean, does it give you a bit of pride, a bit of joy?
Oh yeah. I mean, this thing took it's about 3 years now, 2.5 years to launch. And then we found bugs and we started fixing it. It's always evolving. But struggling for 2.5 years from the initial concept to actually seeing it launched and seeing people use it, it's gives us a lot of pride. It scares us a little bit, like, oh
Yeah,
man, this is working. Like, you're always like, wow, this is actually working. I hope we don't fail anybody. We want to be successful. We want people to be happy with the app. So we're always making improvements. We're actually working on some improvements now that are going to make the app a little more fun to use and a little more interactive to use. that, as far as I know, has never been done before. So look for a new update. If you download it, we should have an update probably in the next week or two that's gonna, bring even more fun to the app.
And where do you think this will take you then? I mean, could you kind of branch out and maybe have your own, how do you say, kind of coaching clinics or life coaching sessions through the app, maybe where the individuals can connect with somebody if they're struggling with mental health or are struggling with any issues that they want to kind of help with. Is that kind of something down the road you might be looking at?
We haven't thought of that, so let me write that down. But no, we come up from a background of entertainment.
Yeah.
So when we created Blessn and then seeing all these talented people on there, there's actors on there, actresses, there's some really talented musicians on there. We always talk like if we can just build up Blessing to the point where we'll eventually, hopefully, get some investors and people want to help support the app. We'd love to do like Blessing Radio, where it's just uplifting positive content, or Blessing Films, where we have uplifting positive films. Um, I was talking to my cousin recently about some of the music that's out these days, and we were debating, and I was saying, music really affects your mind. You listen to a certain type of music, you may say it doesn't, but it does. You'll start wearing different clothes, you start acting a different way. Music is like the message. So if we
Yeah.
had a lot of uplifting, positive music, but still fun, and it's like hip hop or rap or rock or country, but just positive music, you're gonna have a better day. If you're sitting in your car in traffic and you're listening to some very violent music, you're gonna be in a bad mood. But
Yes.
if you're listening to something peaceful that still feels good and still has a really good melody and beat and a good message, you're gonna let a lot of things slide, and it's just gonna be a better world.
Well, if you're ever looking for anybody to host a Blessing Radio channel, I will volunteer my services. I'm right here, right now. I'm gonna put myself out there on the list. But I think now what you're doing is brilliant because it is needed. I have three kiddies and I have two girls and a boy, and I know they're on their phones and they're they're looking at their friends and what they have and what they feel they don't have themselves. And I think having that positivity, what you're actually doing with the Blessing app, that I think if you're happy within yourself and your own skin, that's more important than anything else. Um,
Yeah.
so I think well done to yourself and Kevin, who didn't want to be here this morning.
No, that's not true. That's true.
Yep. Anyway, I'll just put a little X beside Kevin's name. That's for
Yeah.
Blessing.
He's on the
But
bad list.
so where about the social medias? So I know we're kind of doing a different kind of vibe, but are the two of you guys on anywhere else that if somebody wants to get in contact with you and find out more information about the Blessing app?
Oh, join Blessing. We're right
Oh,
there on the app. You look, we're like the fourth person on there. Like you'll see a couple of people ahead of us. I don't know how they got ahead of us, but if you go to the homepage and you'll see a lot of profiles, you'll see myself and Kevin, and it will say Blessing co-founders. And you can just DM us right there. You can contact us there. If you wanted a personal message from us, we can do that too. But just if you want to reach out, just go to the Blessing app and you can talk to us directly right there.
it's been a joy to chat to you today, and I think everybody will be kind of interested in this going forward. And I think the work you put into it, the both of yourself and Kevin, is a credit to you, and it's going to be a huge success. And I know you said it's only a month and a half or a couple of months since you've actually released it, but I just know by looking at it, people are kind of tired of negativity, and they do want the positivity now. So well done to the both of you.
Thank you.
Well done, Kevin, as well. I know you can hear me as you're
Yeah,
waking up.
he will.
So all this have to say on behalf of myself, the Wellbeing Purple Podcast, very thank you to Gerald Jones, Kevin. Clark. Oh, and before we actually went to go, Clark, is Kevin any Irish background with a surname with Clark?
I don't. I'm going to ask him that. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's never came up, but I'm going to ask him.
ask him that. Yeah, just in case. Just as Clark is kind of I think it's kind of an Irish kind of surname. Yeah. So anyway, thanks so much for chatting today on the Wellbeing Corporate Podcast, and the podcast will be released very shortly on all platforms. So thank you so much, Gerald.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.